Welcome back, guys. It's the moment of truth. It's the video where I'm going to go up against Duriel. Now, I'll be honest, this is probably the first time where I'm actually worried that dying is a legitimate possibility. Duriel's always been a pretty difficult boss on normal, and especially for hardcore, just because of the potential damage he can do with his jabs, his smite, or his potential charge attack, plus the freezing, and he's the small room. I mean, he's just a total mess to try and go up against. So here's what I've concocted to try and counteract that. So if you take a look at my overloaded inventory, I've made a few changes since the last video. Now, I had a sizable collection of runes from the past few videos where I've been collecting them, so I decided to start putting them towards rune words. So the first one I decided to make was Malice, which you can see the stats here. The general gist of this, though, is that it's a weapon that pretty much guarantees you're going to hit at the maximum percentage chance to hit, 95%, because there's so much negative defense here on this attack, on this weapon, with all the stats, that we're feeling pretty confident that we're going to be hitting as much as we possibly can. Now, there is a drawback on this weapon. It's the Drain Life clause, but that's actually counteracted by our Replenish Life ring over here, so it's not a huge deal. As for the other equipment, we have most of our old gear here that you're familiar with. The high block shield, the chainmail we found going into the dry hills, I believe. Now, the other thing we decided to make was the Nadir rune word, which, among other things, is just more defense, but it also gives us access to Cloak of Shadows, which is normally an assassin ability. But the main effect of it, besides some funky pseudo-stealth, is the ability to increase your defense while lowering your opponent's defense. So, combined with Malice, I have no worries about actually hitting Duriel, especially because we have pretty good attack rating to begin with Zeal and our actual stats. The main worry is dying to him, so hopefully the extra defense on Cloak of Shadows will help us out. As far as other ideas I've potentially had, I considered actually putting together the Ancient's Pledge, but I didn't have an Ort rune. The Ancient's Pledge is just pretty much a really high resist shield that you can make, but I didn't really find it, and I'm guessing for the time being, high chance to block will probably trump the extra bit of cold resist. As far as our other plans here, I rummaged around as many rejuvenation potions as I can, which I'm going to switch into my belt. I've tried to keep all the more powerful healing potions that I have available in my inventory that I'll switch in, using up the light healing potions first on my trek there. Now you'll notice I have a ton of thawing potions. I think I talked about this in an earlier video, but Duriel has a freezing effect. He has the Paladin's Holy Freeze. Of course, it's probably not too holy, so I guess it's Unholy Freeze. But it does cold damage and chills you, which we can't actually thaw out of the chill. But it also does cold damage and gives him cold damage on his base attacks. So we're just going to use it for the extra cold resist effect, which it'll give us an extra 50. The reason I have so many is because drinking them, the duration actually stacks with itself. So I'm just going to drink probably all 8 right before we dive in there and just assume it'll last throughout the entire fight. I have a Roderick staff here that I need to slam down to actually get into the Duriel fight. It's part of the quest. I had a town portal scroll here because I was considering throwing it on my belt because I wasn't sure how quick I could switch through, because once we dive through that door, I'm going to immediately throw down a town portal, because while I'm not sure if we can beat Duriel in a straight-on fight, I am relatively confident that he won't just be able to burst us to death. So at the very least, I want to be able to run and just get out. if push comes to shove, I'm considering leveling up to 24, which then I'll get access to Holy Shield. So if I go in and it turns out Duriel kicks my ass, I am going to run away, lick my wounds, come back when I'm level 24, which I'll be a lot better with Holy Shield. Now, it might sound like I'm over-exaggerating. I guess we'll see by the end of the video whether or not I was. If it turns out, boom, I'm dead, then all this worrying was correct. If it turns out we easily kill him, well, we'll say all this pre-planning paid off. So, as you can see, I have no cold resist, which is one thing to worry about. We have a ton of attack rating, and with these two rune words, I'm not worried about hitting him, although we have to remember we will be frozen, so it's going to be difficult to get swings in, because our attack speed will be lowered. Our defense is not superb, but we have to remember this is not including our Mercenary's Defiance aura or Cloak of Shadows, so hopefully we'll be about double this, because I think both Defiance aura and this will give something like 50. This is 50%, I think, and then the Defiance aura will be something like 50% as well. So hopefully our defense will be a lot higher. We have 215 health, which is pretty good. You can always have more. Like I said, I'm not thinking he'll just be able to kill us in like a giant burst, especially with these rejuve potions. I'm just more afraid of the prolonged fight. So hopefully I can get there. It would be especially embarrassing if I die on the way there, but I'm feeling fairly confident we'll get there. If push comes to shove, I'm running, and I'm not coming back until I'm level 24, so we'll just have to see. Our mercenary here actually has pretty good defense. We tried to give him some gear. I considered, because he had double sockets here, giving him Nadir as well, but that doesn't really help him out. It just gives him extra defense, because as far as I'm aware, he won't use Cloak of Shadows himself. He still has the same scythe. I actually, if you look here, I did have a superior scythe for him that I was going to make the steel rune word for him, because it gives attack speed, but I don't have an L rune. I believe it's tier L is steel. So if I need to, if I can get away, I can make more preparations to make this fight easier, but I think we should at least give it a try once. I'm not too worried about dying immediately. Like I said, it's whether or not we can actually slug it out. So our symbol's triangle, which as far as I remember, I think it's this way. So we'll make our way over. We might level up to 21 on the way there. I'm not entirely sure. It'll depend how much we have to clear on the way up. But that's the overview of all the changes I made. Again, if it turns out everything goes alright, you guys might be laughing at me for worrying so much, but like I said, this is all just respecting Duriel's potential difficulty, in that he can be a real problem to deal with. So like I said, this is the first time I'm actually worried about anything. So, and you guys saw how cautious I was being fighting basic mobs, so when it comes to something I actually consider a real threat, yeah, I'm trying to pull all the stops here to make sure we don't end this video series prematurely. So once we're down in here, we know this is the real tomb, as the quest tells us. So there's going to be a little entryway where there's going to be like a pedestal that we need to put the staff on, and then it does some Indiana Jones type shenanigans, and then boom, bam bam boom, we're in. Like I said, the actual fight getting there usually isn't too bad. I say that as my mercenary is dying. It would be probably nice if we leveled up on the way there, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that fact. Although I think last time we had the habit of getting really close to leveling before we fought in Duriel, so I'm not above sneaking back for some extra XP just to get up to 21. Go with these champion unravelers. Going to be paying attention to whatever potions they drop, because I can't carry anymore. The downsides of a full inventory here. I'm going to try and collect as many rejuvenation potions as I can before we head in there, because they're the best safeguard against burst here. You were running into a wall there, so trying to keep our potions safe and set up here. The Unravelers actually hit for a lot of magic damage with their unholy bolts, as it were. That's what's really hurting our merc here, it looks like. Try and help him out here. So this is tense, I'm not gonna lie. I keep saying it, but this is the fight I'm worried about the most so far. Like, the maggot layers, or the maggot layer, or the beetles and whatnot, that's just don't be stupid, and it's about being careful. But this is more of a gear check type scenario, so we'll have to see how it goes. Looks like we are probably going to level, because this is a dead end. Hey, our merc leveled. Take as many of those as we can. It's entirely possible our merc will be able to hold up Duriel if we can't. So we'll have to see. Extra mobs to rush in, and about. Positioning my potions because I'm trying to not use all the upgraded ones just yet. I'd be curious to hear your guys' Duriel strategies, of course. It's always neat to hear. I know it's always a funny fight when you have extra people or extra ads. Just because it's fun watching everyone get smashed to bits. By the Duriel onslaught. Now, here is the place. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna clear a bit more. I'm gonna hang my head down in shame and go claim my extra level up. Which hopefully won't take too long in here. I mean, if you're power leveling, the tombs is actually the spot most people go to level up. You're supposed to do it until 24, because then you can do bail runs for maximum XP. At 25. So, as far as making sure we're on level, this is the place to be. It's just, I don't know if I want to sit here and level up myself. I guess I could do it off screen, but I was trying to avoid that for the most part. I didn't want to do too much of, and then I restarted the game 100 times and kept killing this zone, so. this is probably the main spot I'll be considering doing it though, so might speed up in the future. Again, checking the floor for extra potions like these. Not a minor one, that won't do. The switch from Malice to Malice from our gem thing, excuse me. There's a bit of difference in damage. Mainly our gemmed weapon had closer intervals of damage, but it had lower max damage essentially. So it was something like 50 to 70 on the gemmed weapon, and this one's 22 to 132. So bigger risk, bigger reward on this weapon. That's not to mention all the parts about the effect it does, namely the all the defense reduction, which is going to be important on a boss that every hit needs to count, because we do not have good attack speed when we're in a holy freeze. Okay, just about to level here. There's a lot of guys in there. Yeah. Saw that coming, that he was gonna die.
It is an honor to
So we're gonna level up very shortly here. Going to get all potions. Unfortunately didn't save our Merc. I was hoping I was gonna be quicker on the draw, which doesn't bode well for my speed when I dive against Duriel, but okay, so time to head back in there. Not go that way. That room was just a ton of skeletons and a lot of guys I couldn't get to reviving them. There we go. That is our level. Now, 66% chance to block. I'm not sure if the extra health or the block chance is better in this instance. We're level 21, so we're probably going to want to put it more into sacrifice for extra damage. I think I'm going to go with just extra health. That could mean the difference. Oh, of course, so could one extra blocked attack, but so it goes. So, there we go. It's gonna do the Indiana Jones lightning bolt. So, we're gonna drop down, town portal, cloak of shadows, switch to concentration. Hopefully my nerves don't get the better of me, and I do that just fine. We're gonna set up our health bar here. I think I'll put my rejuice here, because I'm probably going to, if I panic, instinctively hit 1 or 2 rather than 3 or 4. And I want as strong of potions as possible. So we'll put 1 here. And then fill up like this. Okay. Okay, here we go. Oof. Oof. So, Cloak of Shadows only lasts something like 20 seconds. That's why I'm going to do it when I get down there. I think I could potentially turn it on now before I run in, but it's not a huge deal. So, okay, Mr. Merc, you ready? Let's not die here. Let's make this a good one. Whew. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Ooh, panicked there. Ooh, I am not liking our odds on that. Oh my god. You can tell I chugged a lot of potions there. So, we are gonna go back in there. I'm going to keep reviving my mercenary.
Yes, citizen.
He is a good distraction, at the very least. So, I'm gonna do the same idea. Drop down, town portal. Cloak of Shadows. Let's go. Whew, our merc is getting roasted. Holy shit. So I'm trying to heal him up with the potions, but Duriel's burst is just ridiculous. So I know I'm being a little bitch. You guys can say it in the comments. I do not care. I am playing as cautiously as possible because I do not want to get roasted here. So here we go again. Take 3. Let's go. Boom. Oh, we did it, guys. Oh my god. That is nerve-wracking every time. I don't know how many times I've fought him. Oh, I forgot to do the thawing potions. I am such an idiot. That could have made things a lot easier. Because, see, you get 50 cold resist. Ah, I'm dumb. All that planning, and I didn't even take full advantage of it. Well, luckily, we get a few items here. What are we least likely to use? Probably these throwing axes. I mean, we're probably not going to use a battle axe either, for being honest with ourselves. But there we go. Guys, we gotta go explore Tomb of Talrasha, where we're gonna run into our old pal, Mr. Duriel.
Hello, I thank you.
Who was expecting us earlier, but we were too busy getting our ass kicked by Duriel to go see him right away. So, everyone's gonna tell us about Duriel, about how we screwed up, because technically we arrived too late. But what can you do?
Good. You have done very well.
Thank you, Darren. Now, with that, we're gonna head over to Act 3 after we look at our gear, and we'll move on to the next one. That was, oof, nerve-wracking. I will see you guys in the next one.